Casey, remember when we went to the gym last weekend and I was tired and I said Jesus, and that old man walked up and was like, "Yeah, Jesus is the Christ." And
Oh
I'm
yeah. I also remember when you had headphones in and you couldn't like interpret how loud you were speaking, and you just screamed "pussy pad" for everybody in the gym to hear.
So the only people who work out at this gym are like people over the age of 60, and Casey and Huffy and I. And
What gym are you going to?
Penbriar.
Penbriar.
Yeah, but
I think that's an old folks' home. I think you're just ripping the gym off.
Maybe,
like
who knows?
It's fitting.
But it was funny because we were squatting, and I had my AirPods in, and I had like a hoodie on, and I was like, "You know what I like about hoodies? They have a built-in pussy pad."
Oh my!
And Casey and Huffy just were looking at me and laughing. I'm like, "What? What's so funny?" And I took an AirPod out. They were like, "Oh, you just said that like super duper loud."
You need to go to the American gym, Hunter.
For real,
Why?
you guys go there.
That gym is a real gem. You can't even find like that
Boston,
kind of
they're
equipment.
closed.
Yeah,
They're
they're
closed.
Yeah, for like good, or at least for a very long time.
I'm gonna
That's
see if
where
I can buy them. I'm gonna try to find some investors.
American gym, but see, the thing is, you still have to keep the pictures of the American gladiators on the walls.
Oh, I'm not updating
yeah.
anything. Once you buy the American gym, you just sit there with a newspaper and read it and tell people that it's not amateur hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because what was that guy's name? Was it Dave?
It was Dave.
Yeah, so he was super nice, and I just remember like multiple times we would just be like well over a month of not paying, and he's like, "Hey, when you guys gonna pay me?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, no, we will." And eventually, my brother. This is like a while after having left or like stopped consistently going. My brother just started going again, not paying. Like he just like went and started working out.
Yeah.
Well, I like their payment policy. It's just like leave $20 on the counter and hope you don't need change.
Yeah.
Maybe they're closed because of just poor business practice and not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like the American gym isn't some type of, Planet Fitness where you got a bunch of scrubs going there, It's if you're working out at the American gym,
you're a hoss.
Yeah, you're a hoss, and you're an honorable person.
The weights are vintage.
It's a bunch of real Mr. Reynolds types.
There was a guy, and he had super jacked up teeth, and I probably was like 17. And mind you, I started working out in like 8th grade. Granted, I was small, but still. I'm like doing some workouts, whatever, and I don't even know how we got started on it, but he was the one that told me about GoMad, the gallon of milk a day. He's like, if you want to gain weight, gallon of milk a day, you will gain weight. And I was like, yeah, no, I get that, but I just don't want to do that. And then he's like, trust me, once you start working out, you'll gain some muscle. And mind you, I have been working out for like 6 years at that time. I'm just a small person. He's like, once you put the time in, you'll get big. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Jake, I think you just weren't doing enough push-ups all the time like Roman.
True.
But, yeah, maybe. How old is Roman now? You think we could have him on as a guest? Is he like 12?
I don't know.
15?
Better can't work out.
Not that old.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Is that true?
No, it's Huffy. Tell Huffy we're about to start, and he needs to stop interrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm eating cheese, all right, dog? I'm sorry. You want some cheese?
Huffy, get your jacked, shirtless self out of here. You're gonna make
You're gonna get us flagged on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
What'd you say, Jake?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Who do you think you are?
Talking at Huffy.
Yeah, Hunter, we're really taking our sweet fucking time here.
I thought we were all friends. We were all catching up, smelling the roses, but whatever. I guess we can get into it. Welcome to episode 14 of Bro Football Focus, the Justin Blackman episode. going to be super sweet. Welcome, everybody. With me, as always, you got Jake. You got Austin.
What up?
You got Huffy in the kitchen, and our special, very, very special guest of the week, Casey Krotoszynski.
How's everybody doing?
Oh.
Thanks for having me.
Casey, this is the part in the show where you tell the fans a little bit about yourself.
Well, I guess I'll start with the favorite team, the New York Jets. Unfortunately, wish they were a little bit better, but I'm ride or die. So there's that. And then I know consistently people have just been saying their past football experiences, so I'll just stick with that. I played football since I was a little kid up through high school. Not a superstar, but not a scrub. So like that, running back, safety material. Not a big guy, but
All right. Well, that was awesome. Definitely the best introduction we've had on the show.
Very clean.
So, Casey, you're familiar with the Hot 32? You know how it works?
Oh yeah.
Are you prepared? Do you think you can handle it?
We'll see, I guess.
All right. Well, Austin, it looks like you're first up if you'd like to get her going.
All right, let's start it off. Out of Arizona, the Cardinals signed rookie Isaiah Simmons to a 4-year, $20.6 million deal that's fully guaranteed.
In Atlanta, Todd Gurley says he might sit out if the NFL doesn't get their shit straight with COVID, which reports say they might have.
In Baltimore, offensive lineman DJ Fluker is reported as a victim of domestic violence by the Baltimore police, with his girlfriend allegedly punching him in the face last month.
That bitch has balls.
Oh, that's funny. Domestic violence isn't funny. In Buffalo, a revised $175 million 2021 salary cap paints a bleak picture for the Buffalo Bills.
In Carolina, Jamie Collins, a resident of North Carolina, became the first person to win the $200,000 top prize of the Panthers' new scratch-off ticket.
Nice. In Chicago, a Bears beat reporter says it's, quote, impossible to say if Allen Robinson will get an extension or not.
In Cincy, the starting right guard, Laurent Duvernay Tardif, butchered that.
Laurent Duvernay Tardif.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Is the first player to officially opt out of the 2020 season to stay on the front lines to fight the pandemic with his doctor of medicine.
Wow.
In the land, Cleveland, the Browns add Kevin Rogers to staff as a senior offensive assistant.
Who's that?
I don't know.
In Dallas, CeeDee Lamb agreed to a 4-year, $14 million rookie contract with the Cowboys.
In Denver, Jerry Jeudy has released some new merch with his JJ monogram on it, and it all looks pretty sweet.
In Detroit, Matt Prater calls out on Twitter Bud Light for their offer to Brandon McManus that Jake brought up last week, that if he beats his record, they'd give everybody in Denver a free beer. And Bud Light replies, screw the record. It's McManus versus Prater. Whoever kicks the longest field goal this season gets Bud Light for the city.
Wow.
Come
on. Green Bay. The Packers are among a handful of teams with offensive continuity entering 2020.
Big news, big news.
Huge news.
In Houston, yesterday on Twitter, Elon Musk said Tesla solar panels are $149 a watt, to which JJ Watt replied, how much are they for everyone else?
That's a good one. In Indianapolis, wide receiver Doris Fontaine is to return to play this season after a very bad ankle injury last season.
It's actually Doris Fountain, Jake.
Is it?
I don't know.
In Jacksonville, Pro Football Focus ranks the Jags defensive line 23rd overall.
Nice. In Kansas City, Chiefs head coach Andy Reid was instrumental in final negotiations between the NFL and the NFLPA and their COVID stuff.
Big Red. LA Chargers. During a Zoom call with Denver Nuggets players, Peyton Manning was asked about playing games without fans, to which he replied, "You'd probably have to ask someone with the Los Angeles Chargers."
It's funny.
They're just getting ripped apart.
Yeah. The other Los Angeles team, the Rams, could be one of the first teams to test the prototype mask attachments for helmets.
In Vegas, the owner, Mark Davis, not optimistic about the 2020 season because of coronavirus concerns.
Uh-oh. And Miami, Pro Football Focus lists the Dolphins among the league's best backup quarterback groups.
That's a Girardi.
In Minnesota, the Vikings signed head coach Mike Zimmer to a 3-year contract extension.
In New England, a video of Cam Newton posted on social media. Post-workout, he states, "You haven't seen this Cam before. You know how I know that? Because I ain't never seen this Cam before."
Wow.
In New Orleans, DN Cameron Jordan, very optimistic. During an interview says, "There's nothing in me that's telling me that our team isn't close to the championship, given the past three years' performances."
Close but no cigar, Cam Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
For the old New York Giants, our good buddy, old pal, cornerback DeAndre Baker is planning on reporting to Giants training camp.
Wow. Here's some news for you, Casey. Jamal Adams slammed head coach Adam Gase in an interview with New York Daily News, saying, "I don't feel like he's the right leader for this organization to reach the promised land."
Wow.
I mean, I kind of got to agree, but
Oh, wow.
In Philadelphia, some say that re-signing LaShawn McCoy is more of a move to please the fans than an actual team strategic move.
in Pittsburgh, Big Ben donates to the Shenango Township Police to fund for police canines, and he is not looking like a big fat hoss, so he might be better than what people expect.
Or worse.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Only time
Power
will tell.
to hossiness.
A lot of Big Ben's hot doggatry comes from his fatness.
Yeah.
But over in the city by the bay, San Francisco, Coach Kyle Shanahan said in an interview, "We haven't done shit yet when talking about last season."
Right on.
We haven't done.
Seattle. In Seattle, Russell Wilson and Sierra have announced the birth of their son and second child together, Wynn Harrison Wilson.
His first name is Wynn.
Yeah. Named after the J-Rock song.
Oh,
Well,
it's-
in Tampa Bay, a new Tom Brady Mike Evans mural is put up in Raymond James Stadium. It's not painted, it's like a vinyl one.
Wow. Why not build statues while you're at it?
Yeah, might as well.
In Tennessee, closed agreements re-signed Derrick Henry to a 4-year deal worth $5 million, guaranteed $25.5 million on Wednesday.
That is $50 million?
$50 million? Yeah, I read that wrong.
all right. Very impressive that you just added his first name on your own. It's pretty good.
He called me.
Yeah, I'm impressed. You're not just burgundying it. You're not just reading the prompter. But in Washington, really the only news to report here is that they are now the Wahington Football Team until further notice.
It's a big fuck you to the league by Snyder there.
Really blue.
So Kate, as our honorable guest, what do you want to talk about first?
So I guess we'll go with Carolina because I'm just very curious about this top prize of $200,000 for a scratch off. Is it like hosted by the team?
Oh, yeah, it's hosted by the team. So I think it's kind of like a way to make money because you can't bring in all the revenue with fans by stadium sales. But anyways, the top prizes are you can win $200,000 or you can win tickets to the draft, or you can be like a special person to announce their draft picks.
So was it like primarily for fans?
Yeah.
And Jamie Collins was just like, well, I want to enter it
No,
too.
it's not the linebacker. It's a lady in North Carolina named Jamie Collins. She just happens to be named the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Story is significantly less interesting now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be fucked up if a player won it.
Yeah.
Like a super rich player.
Yeah.
I do like how they're just letting gamblers get their fixins.
Oh, yeah.
Crashing all these tickets.
What would you guys pick? The money or the draft selection?
The money.
If it was $200,000,
Yeah.
I think I'll take the money and I'll drive to the draft.
Yeah, give me that
Well, I
money.
mean, you won't be taking home $200,000. It'd probably be like
Oh, Jake's one of those guys.
I mean,
Yeah.
they take out 40%. I think.
And if you take out the lump sum, then they'll fuck you.
Yeah, don't care.
inflation, you know.
I'm going to take the money because I'm pretty sure the draft is outside and it's like free to go to.
Yeah.
But you don't get to announce.
I
Don't
don't
care.
care. I would probably go up there and Steve Harvey it and mess it up or something. Like I would just say the player I want them to pick and everybody would be upset with me.
Or you could be like, Panthers select Hunter Vaughn. Oh my God, it's me. You're like, yeah. Everyone's like, what the fuck? You're like, no, he
Of
didn't.
the commish.
Roger Goodell's snipers would probably take you out as soon as they discovered some foul play.
Yeah, I really hope there's no like Al Qaeda attack on the draft. That would be really terrible.
Jake,
Wow.
can we never bring up Al Qaeda on the podcast?
We don't want to be associated with terrorist organizations.
No, we're obviously anti-terrorist organizations
But
here.
for real, on a side note, do you guys remember ISIS? Whatever happened to them?
They're still around.
They were
dude.
murdered by America.
They were supposed to be like they were just this big deal, and I just haven't heard about
The
them.
coronavirus is just kind of overshadowing their efforts. You know,
They still taking out important historical monuments and stuff.
The coronavirus and all the protests are so overshadowing when it comes to world news that there's literally like a second Holocaust going on right now in China.
wow.
Now,
Yeah, but Jake, nobody cares about human rights issues.
true. That was proven this year.
Nobody cares until the moolah is affected.
Yep.
All right, who's next on the 32 here? Me?
Good thing we're not a political one. Yeah, go ahead, Austin.
All right. Well, I want to talk about this New York Jets situation because Jamal Adams basically said that he doesn't think his head coach is the right leader, and then he has to report to training camp here in a couple days. So
Didn't he also call out the owner too?
at one point, I think he did.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
think called the owner out for being like making racist comments or something.
I think he did though. So I think a lot of people are calling him out.
Casey, what do you think about this? You're a Jets guy. We know you like Jamal Adams. Probably the best player on the team.
Yeah, I don't want to see him go. Definitely don't want to see him get traded.
But don't you want to see him thrive on a team he's happy on?
I mean, that would be nice, but I hope they can put aside their differences and make him happy on the New York Jets. So
As a Bills fan, I hope that they don't put aside their differences, and I hope that they either trade him to a horrible team or they sign him to a really ridiculous contract and it ruins their cap space for the next 5 years.
I hope they trade him to the Jags.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be nice for you?
Yeah, well,
They're very optimistic about not trading him. And he said he wasn't going to hold out. So there's some optimism
Yeah, but
for him to stay.
Casey, he just called out his head coach, and now he's got to report to camp. Don't you think there'll be some tension there?
no.
Oh, there'll definitely be tension.
He's
the
not holding
sheriff.
out.
They know who's the leader of that team.
So what, you think he's going to organize a coup with the players, and he'll be the one calling the shots now?
Maybe.
Maybe he could write a haiku about how he feels and open up the conversation alleyways, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just do some slam poetry.
Yeah, that honestly solves a lot of my issues.
I mean, I don't know if a coked up Adam Gase gives a fuck about your slam poetry.
So since like talking about like him not holding out, is holding out like a relatively new thing as of, you know, like the last 5 years, or like, has it been like a thing since, you know, early 2000s?
No, people hold out.
It's a lot more prevalent now. like back in the day, like really high star players would do it, but now like a ton of people are doing it. Anybody who feels like they need a little more money.
See, Jake, basically the issue is nobody in the NFL has integrity no more.
Yeah.
And they don't outplay their contract, but they start doing good, and they're like, well, hey, I'm doing good. I deserve more than this. And then the team's like, but that's the contract you're on. If you keep doing good, maybe we'll sign you to a super good long one. And they're like, no.
Well, one of the things is like now they changed it several years ago that when you get drafted, you're on an automatic kind of, there's only so much money they can pay a rookie, like where you were drafted at. Like before it was unlimited. So like Aaron Maben could hold out and get like a $60 million contract right off the bat. Where right now, like Isaiah Simmons just got, I think he had one of the biggest contracts out of the rookies. He got that $20 million 4-year contract.
Well,
So
isn't it not just incremental based on where you were drafted?
yeah, it's a little bit based off of that, but they still have to come to an agreement on it. I think they can lowball you still. But so he's on a 4-year, $20 million, so that's $5 million a year. So if he's like a superstar in 3 or 4 years and he's only getting paid $4 million or $5 million a year, and the top guys are making 16 to 20, he'll be like, I'll just hold out and not play and not risk getting hurt for $5 million when I could sign with another team for 20. So that's what's going on there.
I might start doing that just in everyday life. Like I just want to go to a restaurant, I get the bill and it's like $50, but like I'm not gonna pay this till it's fucking.
I could get this at McDonald's for $5.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't I
Just
hold
don't
out?
leave for some.
I don't know if it would work out for you because you don't have like the skill set of an NFL player, and I don't know what you necessarily bring to the table at the restaurant.
Oh, in my rep, I'm like, did you see how fast I ate that shit? That's professional level.
Yeah, they do really care about that at restaurants.
You need me and people like me to come here because the faster I eat, the faster you can get somebody else in here. You're making more money, and they're like, "Wow, that's fucking genius."
You just gotta pull it out. Like I'm the host of a very prominent and successful podcast.
There
So
we
you
go.
want here,
Like,
and
you
I'll
don't want me
advertise.
to talk shit on Lucille's Diner because you're done.
Austin, what do you want to talk about?
That was Austin.
That was my topic. But I also want to talk about Ed Oliver getting done dirty, and then so they charge him with a DUI and carrying a gun illegally, but the blood test came back. He had no he had no alcohol in his blood, and he blew a 000 on the breathalyzer when they arrested him. And the gun charge, it's legal to have a gun in Texas, but not if you're drunk. So that's where the gun charge came from. So because he wasn't drunk, that gun was legal.
Didn't he have an open beer can in the car?
It was a spitter.
It wasn't between his legs. It was his friend's spitter from earlier, and it was just like a ripped off top can.
Yeah, not cool, dude. You can't be DWB and driving around with beer cans in your car.
It's Texas, dude. Everyone's got a couple beer cans in their car.
Wasn't he also like hot, like a massive like journey while in the process of this? Like he was going miles, like hauling his like ATVs or something.
He was hauling something. I think he had his ATVs. I don't know if he's on a massive journey, but I just think he got done real dirty. Like the cops threw him in jail with a 000 breathalyzer.
So this is what the Bills say. They released a statement about that. They said, "We are pleased with the ruling today regarding Ed Oliver. We support and worked with Ed throughout the off-season program as it was a priority for us to allow the legal process play out. We appreciate Ed's honesty and his communication with us. With his name cleared of all charges, he can now return to his full attention on the upcoming training camp and season." Still bullshit that they threw him in jail, but at least like he didn't get anything on his record for it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just wanted to bring that to light since Hunter wants to talk about the cap space hit on the Bills here. Instead of some real news.
Most interesting thing I could find, but they might be in trouble in 2021.
So for me, I just kind of want to touch on the fact that it's weird that words are just becoming people's names now. The fact that Russell Wilson's child is going to be named Win. And it's just like, where does it go from here? I mean, you have Elon Musk naming his kid fucking C-3PO. Then you have, obviously, all Kanye West kids are words. Like, Jay-Z, Blue, got Win now. Like,
It seems like more of a celebrity issue, you know? They
Win
just
is
want their
short
kid to be
for
unique. They can't just name their kid John.
Winifred.
Winifred.
It doesn't say Winifred. It says on the birth certificate, Win. So,
Yeah, no. I think it's just people with like celebrities. They just have the statue.
I mean, I think Russell Wilson just likes picking up dubs. So he named his kid after it.
That's true. He's like, I literally gave birth to a win. But what if he's a loser?
Yeah, he probably
won't.
will be.
What if the name is too much to live up to?
That's the irony of it all. He probably just fucked his kid for the rest of his life, you know?
I think Gwyneth Paltrow's kid's name is Apple.
Wow.
Like, hey, this is my son, Subway Tile, and my daughter, Carrot.
Yeah, I mean, it can only get more ridiculous from here on out.
I know, for real.
Yeah, I'm all for it, though. I think people with fun names is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, name your kid whatever the hell you want. You could name him fucking mashed potatoes for all I care.
I'm waiting for when they just start naming people like a noise. It's not even like a word. They're just like,
Some onomatopoeia names.
Yeah.
He's just like, God damn it, me. Sit down.
So I'm interested in the DJ Fluker news.
Oh,
obviously. Whoever popped that in there, do you know any more information about that?
all I know is there was a confrontation. It started with like some Twitter beef between him and his girlfriend.
Started with Twitter beef.
I didn't know about the Twitter beef.
I mean, this is over a month ago, and like everything's just finally gone through the courts. But they were just pissed off, and she gave him a good firm punch to the snoz. And somehow, I mean, it's apparently, reportedly, allegedly, it's an ongoing issue. And
Yeah, I read the police report, and he said that she'd been like beating his ass the past couple weeks, and he was like trying to talk to the Ravens, like, should I file this or not? Like, would it be a bad look? Like,
that your girlfriend is beating you up? Yeah, DJ, it might be.
Well, I mean, it's not nearly as bad of a look as if he like punches her back, because being one of the like quarterfinalists in the Big Nasties.
Oh yeah.
One swing of that mitt is putting you in the dirt. Like,
I know, but it stinks for, obviously nobody should hit anybody, but it sucks that it's a double standard that like DJ Fluker's girlfriend can beat him up, and we're just like, ooh, so funny, DJ Fluker's a puss. But like, if it was the other way around, we'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
No, that's legit.
I mean, in the end, it's a good look on him that he didn't do anything wrong, and he,
yeah, absolutely.
you know,
so funny though.
He's a good dude.
I think
We're a big DJ Fluker fan base here, so I also read an article that he has shed like a massive amount of weight, and he's putting on a lot of muscle. Like, yeah, he's trying to take over for Marshall Yonda on that Ravens line, dude.
Wow,
he's hossing up.
That's fucking awesome. No,
but yeah,
open up the dialogue of male victims of domestic violence.
Did you see the picture of him with his nose bleeding?
No. Wow.
We'll pop it's kind of sad.
No one's a fan of domestic abuse.
It is kind of sad. Poor guy.
Are you looking up the weight loss thing, Hunter?
Yeah, I couldn't find it. But that's all right. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it, when the season comes around.
Oh, I got the article right here.
Fax it to me.
I'll send it to you via email. It says that he is eating salads, doing sprints, and losing weight.
Good for him. That should have been the story.
Yeah,
he went from a 4X t-shirt size to a 2X t-shirt size. And he said the proof is in the salad, not in the pudding.
I like that.
Not only is DJ Fluker a big nasty becoming a small nasty, but he's also seems hilarious.
He's putting on muscle. I don't think small is in the description of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
We'll see.
a big guy.
He could be a spokesman for like Hidden Valley Ranch with that slogan. Like, damn.
Yeah. But so that was the Hot 32. That was fun. Big news this week. No preseason. Think that was in the tea leaves for a while. I wasn't super surprised by the news.
Not much.
I kind of saw it coming.
Wise.
Yeah.
No point to the preseason. I want to jump over what?
We got some videos of DJ running sprints. That is a big man moving.
Send those to me too.
It's on the gram. Let me see if I can get this on the gram.
Jake, you were pretty hard about this all week. Do you want to talk about the Tyreek versus T.O. race?
Yeah, because I saw the post. It was like, hey, this video's going live. And I was like, it's probably over, but I'll click on the link. Right when I click on it, it's like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, starts live. And I was like, holy shit, I tuned in at the perfect time of being live. Like, I just had to take a second to appreciate that. But, yeah, no, it was a cool video. I didn't know that Tyreek Hill made so many, like, videos of himself.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. He's like a streamer, too. And he has a good
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool that made me like Tyreek a little more. And plus, just seeing the videos got me to see a little bit of his personality side. But, yeah, so it shows up. And the whole thing was that T.O. would get 10 yards in a 100-yard race. So shows up. Then Chad Ochocinco shows up to, like, watch. And T.O. has, like, his athletic trainer there stretching him out and doing everything. And so the race happens still with T.O. having the 10-yard head start. Tyreek still beat him by a few yards. And then he's like, all right, well, race me in the 40 straight up. And Tyreek still won. But T.O. still is fast as hell. And he's, like, still super fucking jacked. So, and he's like, that's the thing. He's like, I'm 40. He's like, what? NFL is telling me that, you know, my time is over. He's like, who's the hell to say that my time's over? And it's like, oh, damn. Like, and he's still super fucking athletic.
I mean,
yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining.
I would like to see them try to race DJ Fluker because, Jake, take a peek at that video I sent on Instagram there.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But T.O., yeah, dude, he's an absolute fucking physical specimen. Some of these guys, like Shannon Sharp looks ridiculous at his age. Like Deion Sanders still looks fast when he like fucks around, does like joking runs and stuff. Like these guys are still really athletic even in their, 40s and 50s.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. And it's like, that's what the whole thing Tyreek was saying. He's like, dude, how were you guys on the same team and didn't just destroy everybody? When he's talking to him and Ochocinco. And they're like, yeah, we were pretty good. Like, and then I think T.O. like pulled up in like a minivan, or that might have been Chad Johnson.
That sounds like an Ochocinco move.
Yeah.
Like Donovan McNabb in that episode of It's Always Sunny, where it's just not Donovan McNabb.
Yeah,
so it was pretty cool.
But Jake, did you send him that DJ Fluker video?
Yeah, no, I looked at it.
I put in.
I think it's really funny how the music is hilarious.
Oh, I didn't listen to
I didn't listen to music.
But
what is this?
It's just like I think it's weird how the first things he shows are like just stills.
Yeah. It looks like he made this on Movie Maker maybe.
Yeah, it's stills, and then it's just like him running on like an abandoned highway.
Yeah, I think that's weird too. Like normally you do sprints on like a football field, not like a fucking like
He's just on the street.
It's a video. It is a video. For sure. Yeah, we'll do that. That's a good one.
Alrighty.
I mean, the man is putting in the work right now, so.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
So what's the plan for the NFL? Because I
Well-
did not hear about this.
Yeah. So first of all, original story was players were unsure of playing due to lack of solid COVID plans from the NFL. But then this week, the NFLPA and a bunch of people, they got together and they were like, okay, here's the plan. And I guess they just have like some opt-out clauses now where like if you are at high risk for some medical conditions or whatever, you can leave with like a certain stipend or something. So it's just more security like that.
And then mask going to be a mandatory thing?
What?
Like mask attachments? Did they say anything about that being
I don't think
mandatory?
so.
I saw like the opt-out clause. It was a very small dollar amount, like compared to what these people are making. Like I only saw like 150,000.
I saw 300,000, but I don't know if that's like for the season or for like a game.
I hope it's a game because that's a lot of money lost when these people are just trying to take care of their health.
Depending on the player, yeah.
Yeah, but if a normal person sits out of work because they're afraid for their health, they're not getting anywhere near. Yeah, like if you want to chill for a season, take the fucking 150 grand.
Yeah, if you are a current player and you're like, damn, I need that $1 million because my finances are in a quandary, you should probably take some money management classes.
And you're telling me like these guys are gonna just sit out the season in quarantine and be safe the whole time? Like maybe the doctor guy would, that Laurent Duvernay Tardif. But like, dude, if a normal dude he's gonna be hitting the clubs, dude. He's gonna be, smoking the Joni with his bros, passing it around. You're gonna be
training off-season style because they can't let themselves get soft,
Yeah, I just don't see that kind of discipline out of most NFL players, though.
You're right. NFL players do lack discipline.
Yeah, like if you don't have a good coach overlooking these guys during this, like you saw what happened this off season, like the arrests, people are robbing each other, fucking like it's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
You don't give these guys something to do and they just have millions and millions of dollars and they're used to having fun 24/7, they'll find something to get into.
Yeah.
So speaking of getting into stuff, these new mask prototypes, hopefully making it so coronavirus can't get into people. Casey, can you see the picture of this mask prototype?
Yeah.
It looks like a little castle with like a coffee filter behind it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
See, I don't know how much this is gonna like actually do. Like, cause
yeah, if it's not an airtight seal around your mouth and nose, I don't see the purpose. Like other than stop and spit or.
I think it's more supposed to stop, like block the droplets from coming out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like obviously it doesn't come around the side, and we're gonna put the graphic up so y'all will see this. But you can see that in like the bottom corner of like this part of the helmet, it doesn't cover that corner, and obviously like any of the eyes,
the whole underneath.
Yeah, and like obviously there are dudes that wear visors, but I don't know if they will anymore because it's like then you have literally a full cover. Like,
you're
I wonder if you'd be more. I wonder if they're gonna make you wear a visor though. I
don't know.
That's a good thought.
Seal it off even more, but it'd probably get steamed up with that thing on.
Oh yeah, you'll be gross.
And plus, like this, what we're seeing right here, this is one face mask variation. Like,
well, yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. Like the little castle thing, I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why players are so upset about it. Like, we're not going to do this. It's because you're right, Jake. That's just one little castle thing for one type of face mask. Like, every other player has a different mask.
That's a good point.
And like the fact of that has to still cloud your vision, you know? Like if you're like running and you have to look at the ground, like you don't turn your head and look, like sometimes you just look through that part and it's like,
Yeah.
fucking bullshit right here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what the guys say who tested out first. Who'd we say
It
was?
says that the Rams are probably going to be the first ones, probably because they're in a hot spot.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear what
Then-
Jared Goff has to say about.
Or even it could be because they're in a very progressive place. They might be more willing to do it rather than, you know.
But another thing, if
bullet-
everyone's wearing these, then it's kind of even playing field. But you don't want Aaron Donald chopping your knees when you can't fucking see
Yeah,
below.
true. But I find it hard to believe that only like one team is gonna try it. So like, are they just trying it in like camp or something?
So
They would-
because how many you'd have to make? It's like, all right, let's have everybody try this. So they make a whole bunch and they ship it out, and there's just getting everybody along with it. And like they could put it on the Rams and be like, oh, these are fucked. Like there's no way this is gonna work. And
Yeah,
so at least we didn't spend all the time trying to get it to everybody.
I just don't see like in the actual season like just one team having it. I feel like during the season like it would be everybody,
yeah.
nobody.
I'm
Mhm.
I'm sure they're just doing it like over the next couple weeks to like pump them out real quick,
Yeah.
just to make sure, like Jake said, they're good.
Yeah, I'm
But what
sure.
if this gives an advantage to really short players, and you can't see them out of
in the mask, and you're like,
they're just like crawling on the ground towards the end zone.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Now, see, my thing about it is, now, how are they going to determine that they work? Like, the only way to know is if you had somebody with known COVID simulate playing football and see if the other person catches it.
That's not true, Jake. I don't know if you've ever seen Mythbusters, Rip Grant Imahara, but all they would need is like some sort of thermal imaging technology and have someone pop that mask on and do like a sneeze or something and see if less particles come
They
out.
put a helmet with the mask on Buster.
Yeah.
See, I know from working in a particle-free room, Jake, that they have particle imaging technology that like you can see every breath, like how many particles come out, or like if you sneeze.
All you need is some PIT.
Yeah, I'm sure they just put it in a lab, put a helmet on a guy, and have him sneeze a couple times, and that's how they figured it
And you would just see it going at the bottom there.
out. Just drooling on himself.
Yeah, but overall, cool technology. It's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
If it makes it so football can happen, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
That is true. I do find it silly. I don't know if this was brought up in the past, but I find it super silly that you can play a full contact sport for 4 quarters, and then at the end you're not allowed to like mingle or anything afterwards, like that new rule.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week. That's like,
No, why can't they just be like, hey, have some masks on the side and you wear a mask?
yeah, just bro out a little bit.
It's a silly rule.
I had to film a soccer game yesterday, and that was pretty cool seeing like a real sport happening.
Did they have masks on?
No. Not on the field.
Sneezing on people.
Yeah, these kids are fucking kissing on the field and shit. Like, of course they're gonna do it.
And I never thought I'd be in a position to call soccer a real sport, but I just did.
Wow.
Did you enjoy it? Do you think you found a new sport to watch?
Yeah, do you want to turn this into a soccer podcast?
No.
Is it your calling?
Like, if there were no sports besides soccer, I'd probably get into it, but right now I don't really want to.
Now the real question, would you get into baseball if it's the only option? Because baseball is hands down the worst sport to watch.
We've got our fair share, especially Hunter, of baseball.
Yeah, I'd get into, like, competitive curling before I got into baseball, I think.
Wow.
I'd probably get into, like, slap boxing before getting into baseball.
Dang, guys.
No, oh, what the fuck was I going to say? Speaking of soccer, the formerly known as Redskins pull a straight soccer move and just go the Wahington Football Team.
Yeah, I think they should just be the Wahington Football Club. Sounds a lot more prestigious.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, So, do you want to just talk about AB and make the whoopsie the Redskins then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Words.
So let's talk about AB retiring and unretiring real quick.
Yeah, so he he announced his retirement earlier in the week, and then he basically a couple days later came out and told the NFL to hurry up with his investigation so that he can play again. So, I mean, the dude's got CTE or something. Like, he's just wish-washy, always changing his mind, saying crazy stuff, apologizing, saying more crazy stuff, throwing furniture off an 83rd floor balcony.
He's fine.
He's got something wrong with his brain, dude. Yeah, but the Washington Football Club.
Yeah, so this is everybody's favorite segment. Well, second favorite segment, the whoopsie of the week. But yeah, the Washington Football Team. That's their new name for the whole 2020 season, is the Washington Football Team.
I thought it was until they have a name.
No, Jake. It is now the entire 2020 season while
Is
they
it really?
mull it over. And rumor has it, the only reason why they haven't been able to pick a name is because someone was like, hey, I know all the names that they're going to pick. I'm just going to trademark all these. And they did.
He's a fucking super scientist. Like,
Yeah.
He capitalized on the situation.
And now there's just an ensuing legal battle, and
so
can't make any progress.
Smaller move. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
What I will say, though, is the uniforms with no logo looks kind of cool. Just the numbers on the helmet, and they look interesting.
Is that what they're going to do? So that old logo's gone. It's retired, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So they're just going to be the football team with numbers on their helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no logo. It says Washington,
yep.
And it's a yellow number. Just boop.
Literally just the name.
See, that's cool, though.
It looks good.
Yeah, they do. They look nice.
Hopefully they rise, through this mess and they become, a playoff contender next year. Dwayne Haskins just airing it out to Terry.
Also, big news.
If there's going to be any change in, staff, considering the other bullshit they're running into, who knows? Like, it was.
Well, they just signed a new head coach over the last season, so it's kind of like a fresh start for the whole organization, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
Ron Rivera.
Though, to have like all this turmoil and then be like, oh yeah, real fucking dog shit.
It's like systematic problems from the top down, though.
Yeah, Dan Snyder has always been regarded as one of the worst owners in the league. Like, he always kind of ties his head coach's hands. I think he was like seeing himself as the GM for a long time too, making a lot of bad decisions, signing Albert Hainsworth to a $100 million contract.
Yeah.
They should honestly do some type of like game show that maybe has like a little bit of like pros versus Joes, and then maybe like a little bit of like I don't know, hard knocks into it, and then the winner of the competition gets to be the owner of the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, I like that. You mean the Washington Football Team?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, the Washington Football Team.
How dare you say that on the podcast, Jake?
Yeah, I don't
get us taken down with that word.
One thing we forgot to talk about, speaking of the Washington Football Team, it might not be Dwayne Haskins leading them to the playoffs because Alex Smith is cleared to play football.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And I don't know if you guys watched the Alex Smith documentary that Bull told us to watch, but there are parts in that where you just see like Alex Smith had like half of his leg just like chunks out of it.
He also got like a deadly infection in his leg, and at one point they were trying to cut it off, and he said no, like I'll either die or have my leg, pretty much.
Well, yeah, that's what the whole documentary was about.
Yeah, like that's insane, dude, that you would take, you're like, I want my leg for football, so I'm either going to die, or ride the side.
Well, I feel like you also want your leg just to be able to walk.
Oh, yeah.
Like
well, you can walk with a prosthetic leg, Casey, but you can't play football with it yet. that we know of.
Yeah, that's why we need Cyborg League. They say,
Cyborg
okay, no,
League.
you can either keep it, try to recover, stay in the NFL,
Or join the
Or-
Cyborg League.
or join the CFL, the Cyborg Football League. And he's like, God damn it, I have to do it.
Oh, Cyborg League
Just
would
like,
be so cool.
like fucking running like fucking 740s.
It's all players who've been injured like horrifically in the regular game and had to have got like amputations or something. But there's
man.
like varying degrees of the cyber. Like one dude just has a whole robotic arm, but one guy just has one robot finger.
Yeah. Oh,
The guy
man.
has just like one human head on just a full blown robot body.
No,
Like,
it's gonna be just
Fox
like a
Sports
brain.
robot.
That's all. Like some
Yeah.
superstar passes away, and they're like, "We're gonna take his brain and put it in a robot," and
Whoa.
that's like full blown Cyborg League.
I mean, what if the other team has EMP grenades, dude, and they just disable your secondary?
Those are illegal.
Now, if you were to take some like past football player's brain and put it into a robot, would that robot have CTE?
Ooh.
Like, does that still affect robots?
I think the
Yeah.
CTE would just download as like a malware.
Oh, they would
Yeah.
ignore it to stop that.
Bunch of windows would be opening that you don't want to open.
A virus of sorts. But yeah, so Washington Football Team, dumpster fire, continue burning. Austin, in this picture, is that Kerry Washington
Maybe.
from Django Unchained?
Yeah, can we do you want to hop into this? Do you have a guess as to who that is? Kerry
why-
Washington?
Why don't you just let us know
He kind of looks
Right.
like he would be Usher's cousin.
for this
Well,
week's Whoopsie of the Week? Or this week's Where Are They Now? I'm sorry.
for the Where Are They Now, I chose a blast from the past in Namdi Asamoah.
Ah.
So Namdi was known as one of the top shutdown corners of the 2000s, and he was famous for quarterbacks not really testing his side of the field. And he was regarded as a highly intelligent player who studied tons of film. So he played free safety at the University of Cal, and he majored in corporate finance to prepare himself for the millions he'd make in the NFL. At the combine, he measured in at 6'3", 213. He ran a 4.45 40. He had a 37.5-inch vert, and he did 16 reps on the bench press. So the Raiders drafted him 31st overall. And the Raiders actually still had Rod Woodson starting at safety in 2003, and Rod Woodson was drafted in 1987. So many speculated that they drafted Namdi to kind of learn under Rod and become the new safety. But instead, they just made him convert to corner, which he had no idea how to play at the time. And he spent the first 2 seasons kind of just learning how to play corner. He didn't really play much. But then in 2005, he started his first season. And in 2006, he was one of the top corners in the league, and he recorded 8 interceptions. Then in 2007, he became the Raiders team captain. And throughout the entire season, he was only thrown at 31 times and only allowed 10 completions.
Wow.
That's a fucking stat line.
The next season, he was thrown at even less, with only 27 attempts his way and only 8 completions. Now, 3 of those 8 completions were from prime Randy Moss, who only had 40 yards against him, and another 2 were from prime Tony Gonzalez, who only had 34 yards against him.
Damn.
So those 2 Hall of Famers were the only receivers to catch more than 1 pass against him the whole season.
Wow.
So basically his dominance continued from 2008 to 2010, and he was elected to 3 Pro Bowls and 4 All-Pros. Then in 2011, he's like, you know what? I'll test the free agent market, see what's going on here. And Philadelphia signed him to a $60 million contract. But Philly had Namdi and DRC, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. They're both like mainly man corners, never ran zone. And the Eagles were like, let's run an all-zone defense. And they got torched the whole season, and they basically wasted the prime years of Namdi's end of his career there. So then in 2013, Nnamdi married actress Kerry Washington and then signed back to the Raiders for one day to retire. But Nnamdi had been preparing for life after football for a long time before he retired. He started acting in 2008 when he was still a dominant football player. He had played roles in The Game, Friday Night Lights, Leverage, and Fire with Bruce Willis.
Whoa.
He also wrote scripts and executive produced Beasts of No Nation on Netflix. Hunter, you remember Beasts of No Nation? With that guy's giant dong flopping around with the machine gun?
Yeah.
Amdi Awesome produced that, dude.
That's pretty funny.
He produced and starred in his own film, Crown Heights, which won the Audience Award for Best Dramatic Film at the 2017 Sundance Film Festival. And earlier this year, he made his Broadway debut in the Pulitzer Award-winning A Soldier's Play. So nowadays, Nnamdi's just basically, making films and playing on Broadway, smashing Kerry Washington.
Well,
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a fun. Where are they now? It's a good story. Austin, I have always been curious about that Eagles scenario that you've just explained. Like, why, as a football team, if you know what your two guys do well, why would you be like, we're going to do the opposite thing?
It was a combination of Andy Reid never really putting any thought into the defense. Like, Andy Reid's defenses always suck. He always picks bad coordinators. And just, I think I don't remember who their defensive coordinator was, dude, but he was an idiot. Like, it was like 2 or 3 years, they just were so bad in the zone coverage. And every announcer, every fan was like, they need to run man. Like, Nnamdi and DRC are both like 6'3", 6'2", man corners. They're just, and it wasn't, they weren't getting burned. They were just having like communication with the secondary, and like the safety wouldn't pick up who they were dropping off to him, and it was horrible.
No, like the 2 years with Jalen Ramsey and AJ Bouye, it was like a similar thing where every play Jalen Ramsey would be like 6 yards off of the guy, and it's like, why are you doing that? You have like one of the best press cover guys, and I just don't get it.
Some D coordinators don't adapt their defense to who they have. They only know cover 3. That's all they run.
Just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know how you're like an NFL caliber defensive coordinator and not understanding how to utilize your players.
Yeah,
where your skill sets lie.
Because it's not the Jims and the Joes, it's the X's and the O's.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, you have to be able to be fluid. Like, putting players into your scheme in the long run isn't going to work out until you put your scheme to your players, unless you're like Bill Belichick or something, which even still like plays to his strengths.
Yeah. And Bill Belichick actually adapts his game plan every week to kind of fit against your strengths.
Yeah.
And like take advantage of your weaknesses.
Yeah.
See, that what makes a great coach, and then a titty coach when you're just playing X's and the O's.
Hate a titty coach. Jake, do you want to get into your game?
Yeah, I do. I kind of want to make some coffee, but yeah, we'll get into it.
We're almost done.
Yeah, I know. Which is wild. Wait, I'm courteous. But yeah, let's get into the fun game of the week. It is the top 3 crunchiest hits of all time. The crunchiest crunches. So we'll go, I'll move this around a little bit. We'll go Casey, and Austin was last week. So we'll go Casey, Austin, me, Hunter.
All right. So we go in reverse order, 3, 2, 1.
Yep. So you
honorable mention, dishonorable. All right.
Well, so we do the honorable and dishonorable last.
Like
gotcha.
Like after, yeah.
Gotcha. So coming in at number 3, it is Darrell Reed when he tackles Chris Henry on a kick return or a punt return, I think.
10-7, the Colts are on top. Capitalizing on the turnover, the kickoff is fielded at the 3-yard line by Chris Henry. Oh, what a shot! The 22-yard line.
I think this was one of the biggest hits I've ever seen in my life.
And with Bo Scaife.
You want to look at that Reed hit one more time, Al?
I'm glad I'm looking at it, not absorbing it.
He's just coming in full head of steam, and Chris Henry just gets leveled and smacked up.
Probably one of those kick returns that made them push the kickoff higher up, so there's less returns.
Oh, definitely. Maybe a little bit older, but that is the cause of them moving it. So you can't just get a full 40-yard dash speed and just level a dude. Because I'm just impressed on how fast this dude's body reacted and just snapped to the ground.
What was this dude's name?
It was Darrell Reed and Chris Henry.
Darrell Reed.
Indianapolis in Tennessee.
Whoa. All right. I guess Austin's next.
So coming in at my number 3, I have Nate Clements hit on Tom Brady. So
Trouble. Here comes the rush, and here's the hit. Oh, and a ride. Brady's up.
This is a vintage Buffalo Bills Patriots game. And when I was watching this film, it's kind of hard to believe Tom Brady's still playing just from how grainy the footage is and like the graphics on the screen. It's kind of ridiculous. But Brady's like rolling out to the right. He's like young Tom Brady before people knew he was a superstar. And Nate Clements just comes in, pops him like super hard. He flies back, his helmet pops off. But Brady did not fumble the ball, and he just pops up real quick, goes and grabs his helmet. It was actually pretty impressive how fast he got up from it. Yeah, it was a crunchy hit.
I think you have to. If you get straight leveled, you have to pop back up real quick because you're like, oh, it didn't affect him. Even if you're like popping up and like almost dying, just pop up.
You don't want to let them know that they gave you CTE.
Yeah. Have you seen the comparison of like another like saying how long Tom Brady's been playing, where it's like it showed the first Madden he was in and the graphics of that, and now the new Madden, and it's like it's really like pointy ass arms and shit. Like,
yeah, he's been playing a while.
No, that's pretty funny. So for my number 3, I should have had my list pulled out, but I wanted to do some more recent ones. This is when Kenny Young comes through and just destroys Gardner Minshew on like the 2-yard line.
Minshew bobbles it and is drilled at the goal line. What a hit by Kenny Young. Came from the inside linebacker position through here. He took his eyes off the front a little bit, the quarterback did, because the snap was to his left. He had no idea.
Oh.
Helmet flies off. Anytime a helmet flies off, I'm like, oh, god damn. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he crunched him pretty good.
Hunter, what do you think about that hit?
I don't remember it exactly. But, it was preseason. Yeah, I definitely remember it because Gardner went in and he just looked like complete ass. And then right at the end of it all, he got crunched like that. And I was like, oh, no, he's not good. He's bad. I still don't know if he's good. But
he could be.
Yeah, that's a coin toss.
Yeah. So I didn't write down, I only wrote down one person involved. I don't know, who is receiving the hit or hitting in some cases. But these are all relatively well-known things that you guys will recognize. So number 3 crunchiest hit of all time is the punt return where AB kicks the guy on the Browns.
8:49 to play in this first half. They got pressure and Lanning gets it off cleanly. Brown backpedals all the way to the 28-yard line. Good move upfield. Brown splits special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks a man, and a flag is thrown.
They're going to get Brown for that hurdle right to the face of Lanning. Tremendous return, but a real mistake by Brown at the end of it. Makes the first guy miss here, then he's going to make 9 other guys miss here. Just flailing away at number 84, but I don't know why Brown thought he had to do that. He had the outside. He could have scored easily if he sticks to his left, but instead tries to hurdle landing and puts his foot right in the face mask.
A cleat to the face of Spencer Lanning right there.
That will definitely...
He's just running, and then he just like does a jumping front snap kick into this guy's helmet, into the punter's helmet, I think. It's pretty crunchy anytime you get a flying kick.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a pretty ridiculous play. I think AB could have like easily ran around him.
Oh yeah, he wanted to kick the guy. He was like, and he kicked him in the face.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Jake, where'd you go?
Oh, there was something over here I had to grab.
Huh.
All right, then.
You're up.
For the mystery. All right, so my number 2 was Ray Lewis and Dustin Keller. I had to go on this one unbiased because it was against the Jets. Not a fan, but it was a great hit, so I had to put it at number 2 spot.
Staches throws middle. What a shot by Lewis on Dustin Keller. As the ball arrived, shoulder pad level and down, so there's no penalty.
See if you can hear this. This is a hard knock. The master of disaster, 15 years he's been lighting people up over the middle.
And a perfectly clean hit.
Dustin Keller just coming over the middle, and he gets a little titty pass and just leaves him wide open, and Ray Lewis capitalized on the situation, levels him. I mean, it's Ray Lewis.
That's what Ray Lewis was looking for. He's looking for you to just lay someone out over the middle.
Yeah. Ray Lewis has crunched a lot of people in his day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say he has crunched people to death.
That is
never proven.
That may or may not be true. But okay, so my number 2.
Whoa.
Locking. What?
What do you mean your number?
Oh,
2?
sorry. Yeah, that's Austin. My fault.
Yeah, it's me, bro.
Jumping the gun.
So my number 2 is Sean Taylor's hit on Brian Moorman. So this is the Pro Bowl.
No.
And Brian Moorman was a punter for the Bills who was like a bald white guy who ran like a 4.4. And he was like an NCAA champion hurdler. So they ran like a fake punt in the Pro Bowl to show off his wheels. And Sean Taylor just comes up and fucking demolishes Brian Moorman. It was horrible.
A lot of it.
Brian Moorman is going to fake it on the run, and he's going to come up short. Oh, Sean Taylor. Phil, you talked in the first half. Remember Reggie Wayne got out of Sean Taylor. Brian Moorman going back out onto the field, and that is why. Congratulated Sean Taylor.
I don't know if it was a fake. It might be he just decided to run with it, but Sean Taylor came from about 30 yards back and just ran right
to and through. Whether it was his decision or not, guess what? It was a bad choice.
But like, it's the Pro Bowl. You don't expect to get laid out.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up, dude. But rest in peace, Sean Taylor.
That's crazy.
When I was looking for crunchiest hits, I saw this one, and apparently this dude, Brian Moorman, just gets hit up on a frequent basis.
Mormon?
Yeah, he's like, just people calling him out for its hit because
he was the highest rated player on the Bills on Madden for like 5 years, and he was our punter. Pretty sad.
That's rough.
Jake,
Yeah.
why are you leaving when you
got something to grab, Hunter?
Okay, so my number 2 is once I unlock my phone again. So this is a Seattle v. Rams and Ricardo Lockett on a punt return. again, just full sprint. This dude does not do the fair catch, and he's just looking up, and then just completely leveled. Like, didn't even try to lean back to fall down, didn't lean forward, was literally just like, done.
Maddox on the beat.
MWA music.
Ay, cook it up, whip it up faster. Diamonds cold, sweater shit from Alaska. Ay, I'm getting close to disaster. Ay, boy, to that shit to my pastor. I was flipping, whipping, dipped in the kitchen. He's just tripping, put the game in submission. I'm Scottie Pippen, but I ball like a piston. A shotty ripping in the.
I think Lockett actually got hurt on that play because he hit him so fucking hard. He literally just, like, essentially just ran into a mannequin just and speared him. It was fucking crazy.
Fair catches for your safety. Got to do it.
Yeah. You got to have some awareness.
But hey, I mean, if you don't, prepare to be crunched.
So yeah, no joke here. I'll show you the list and everything if you guys don't believe me. But my number 2 is also the Sean Taylor Pro Bowl thing. Because I think just the fact that you have Sean Taylor, one of, like, the hardest hitting safeties ever, and again, it's a Pro Bowl. So you're just like, oh, these guys are just having fun and whatnot, just playing around. And then this dude just fucking shit rocked.
Yeah, poor Brian Mormon, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta feel bad.
So that's my dose. I don't think any of y'all will have my 1 or my honorable or dishonorable.
We'll see.
We'll find out.
Wow.
Well, my number 1, bringing it back to Austin's number 3, was Nate Clemens on Tom Brady.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. Like, it's Tom Brady getting leveled. Being a Jets fan, I don't like Patriots, don't like Tom Brady. Big fan. So seeing him just get completely leveled and really crunched was satisfying to watch.
It was easily the hardest hit on Tom Brady of his whole career.
Oh, yeah, hands down. And, like, the helmet flying off, like, that's just another icing on the cake. Like, that's just gravy. Really.
Yeah. That's that gravy on the cake. So, for my number 1, and this is one of the most heinous hits that I've ever seen in my life. It's James Harrison's hit on Mohamed Massaquoi.
But you have your fingers crossed.
Yes. Mike Bell is in. 1st and 10. Bell picks up Polamalu. Massaquoi was drilled. Oh, my goodness. Harrison again laying the wood, and he is slow to get up. Much like Cribbs before him. Flag has been thrown. Harrison is all over the field. 2008 NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Once again, a violent collision. This one's head-to-head, much in the same way it was with Joshua Cribbs. Now, why wasn't the flag thrown on the earlier one? Remember, Cribbs was a runner with the football. He was not in a defenseless position. Watch Massaquoi. See, he's defenseless. No way he can protect himself. No way he can see the defender coming. He's looking for the football. Let's listen in.
That could be a fine right there.
This is the first time that I think I've ever thought someone actually snapped their spine and died on a play, dude. Earlier in the game, James Harrison crunched Josh Cribbs, which could have easily made this list as well. So Cribbs is out of the game. They try like a little dump-off pass to Massaquoi, and Harrison just hits him head-on while he's defenseless, and his back snaps backwards, and his head like hits behind his feet. And I was like, oh, Jesus, dude. And Massaquoi was unconscious like for several minutes. Like, I thought he was dead. The hit, he got fined $75,000 for the hit, and he also got on Madden 100 hit power rating after this game. So that was crazy.
That might be worth it. That might
is ridiculous because stats in Madden only go up to 99.
Yeah. So when they throw you that 100, dude, like you're injuring multiple people a game with your hits. And I think this is when football really started to
crack down.
To crack down because Harrison was killing people at this time.
Like, is he dead? Like, oh.
When you have the thought that someone died on the field.
Like, hey, don't do that.
It was gruesome.
That's fucking crazy. So for my number 1, and I've brought this up before on on other episodes, but this is Steelers v. Bengals, and Vontae's perfect crunches Antonio Brown, and all the Steelers fans are like, oh no, our golden boy, can't happen. But then Juju fucking destroys Vontae's perfect on a crackback.
Perfect. It's a peeled back block, and that's going to be a fine, and that's ridiculous. You know, you spend a lot of time on education on what's legal and what isn't.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 19. Number 19's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game. Be 15-yard penalty. It's second down.
I don't know what you need to do to get ejected from a football game. A penalty like that, and then a taunting penalty on top of it. That's bad football, bad for the game.
And you think the Juju hit is the crunchiest hit in NFL history?
It's my favorite hit because I saw it live, and I was like, oh, goddamn. But
you're there?
That's sentimental value?
I wasn't in person there, but I watched the fucking thing happen live. And
not on a 5-second delay.
So yeah, I mean, especially with like Vontae's perfect being known as one of the dirtiest, crunchiest hitters in the game, and just gets all of it, just revenge hit, smacks him hard, he's out for the fucking count, and everyone just went wild. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, a fun thing about that being a retaliation, I saw like the previous season, Vontae's perfect, apparently, according to people, have changed AB's life when he concussed him, and Vontae's perfect hit a real dirty hit on AB.
Yeah, I saw
a
timeline of AB's crazy, like acting crazy events, and they all started after that hit. Like that hit was the one that broke the camel's back, dude.
Yeah.
See, that pick just blows my mind because the hit on AB is way bigger than the Juju hit.
But the fact that it was
it's kind of like a 2-for-1
to me, there's more of a story behind it for me, which I like it more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The little
the
like
the hits
revenge.
hard though.
Yeah.
He's building up. Hard hitter, dirty player.
Exactly.
Well, my number one, the reason why I asked if it had to be player v player or if it could be one person like against themselves, I couldn't end up using it because it was a college play, but it's definitely the crunchiest hit ever in football. It's when Javid Best like dives over the goal line and lands directly on his spinal cord.
Oh.
He's just on the ground and his arms are out like this and he just can't move and he's just like everybody thinks it's over for him.
Oh no.
But
okay.
Well, yeah, he got drafted.
Oh yeah, he went to the NFL and then had to stop playing because he got hit in the head too much.
Yeah.
But my number one, the Browns were playing the Ravens. I don't know when, I don't know what year, but your boy Josh Cribbs is running the ball back and he just gets annihilated. And it's another situation where helmet flies off and he's on the ground and everybody definitely thinks he's not okay. And then it turns out he was okay.
On the 26, he'll get a shot at it. Whoa! Helmet's out, ball's out. Oh my. And Josh Cribbs is probably out. Morgan Cox made the tackle. And let's hope that Cribbs is okay.
Morgan Cox is the long snapper, 46. The second hit that comes in, though, is the one that knocks the helmet off from the right-hand side. Cox was the primary. Now watch from the left here. That's Ellerby, 59. That's the hit that got him. And remember, folks, and I know everybody's saying forearm to the helmet. He's not a defenseless player. He's a punt returner with the ball in his hands. This is not a defenseless player situation. All we really care about right now is his health.
Yeah, I think Josh Cribbs is another one of those guys who definitely has been on the tail end of some of these legendary hits.
No, when I looked up like a crunchiest hits highlight video, Josh Cribbs definitely had 3 punt returns on it where he was just blown up.
Yeah, I mean, when you play in the Ravens and the Steelers division, when they got Harrison and Lewis and all these hitters.
Yeah. So do any of you guys have any honorable or dishonorable mentions? Because I have 2.
Oh, I got some.
I have a dishonorable. Yeah.
I got a couple of each.
Go ahead, Casey. We'll go in order.
I'll keep going. Not a couple each, but either way, my honorable mention was the Juju one because, like Jake, I appreciated the story and actually seeing it live on the television.
It's a great honorable mention pick. So what's your dishonorable?
Yeah, what's your dishonorable?
Oh, we going with this? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, going both of us.
So for the dishonorable, I thought about this because I didn't know what a dishonorable crunchy hit was. Took me a little bit to realize it. Like, so if you're just being a wallflower and you just avoid hits, or just a poorly timed hit. So I have 2. The one was the Sean Taylor and Brian Newman or Moomin, just because it's the Pro Bowl, so like it was a crunchy hit, like it's on the list, but why you got to be crunching people during the Pro Bowl when everybody's just here to have fun?
Because you're playing football.
See, that's why I put it on the dishonorable, because like, come on now.
All right.
And he's a punter. You know what I mean?
What's the second one on your dishonorable list?
So this one, I just went with people being wallflowers and not wanting to hit people and just avoiding contact at all costs. So I had to go with Cam Newton during Super Bowl 50.
It's a 3rd and 9. Rushing 4, ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground, and it's still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line. Vaughn Miller did it again. He knocked it out of the hands of Newton.
Here he comes, number 58. Vaughn Miller against Mike Rimmers one more time. Cam Newton didn't feel it, didn't step up. The football just taken out of his hand. Cam Newton decides not to dive in there. And
he backed away from it. He jumped away instead of jumping into the pile.
Yep, I guess he made a decision it wasn't worth to go in there and get it. Should have dove in, had a chance to recover it.
Ooh. Where he completely refused to dive on a fumbled ball in crunch time, last 4 minutes of the game, while you're down 6 points in the Super Bowl. You got to dive. You got to put your body on the line and get that fumble. But now he just
Cam Newton
avoiding hits. So dishonorable mention, Cam Newton.
So for my honorable mention, I'm gonna go Pat McAfee smacking Trendon Holiday on a kick return.
On a 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, helping to pave the way with protection. Holiday this time, after that fumble on the road to atonement, and McAfee bangs him out of bounds. McAfee, who hit his hardest most linebackers, playing the role of a linebacker right there.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I don't think I've ever seen a kicker with this kind of hit. Of course, it helps a little bit when the guy is smaller than you are, just 5'5". Pat McAfee is going to be legend among kickers everywhere.
Well, he has a 63-pound weight advantage. 233 to 170.
That was awesome.
And, it's just good to see a punter get a big hit in, even if it's on a 5', 560-pound guy. And my dishonorable mention was going to be Vontae's on Antonio Brown, but I decided to change it up and go when Taylor Mays knocked out his own teammate and the opposing player on the same hit.
235 pounds here as Norwood comes to the middle of this defense.
Oh my goodness.
That's why the rule is there. And I appreciate these safeties wanting to be aggressive, but that's exactly, you see it in the NFL on Sundays. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
So Taylor Mays, dude, playing college football, just a 230-pound guy who runs a 4.3, flies in and smashes his own corner in the head and bounces him into the receiver and knocks both the guys out. And they're both like getting up real fucked up. So
that's power.
Yeah, that's some real hit power right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That was fucking crazy.
Solid option.
So I don't have an honorable mention because of my lack of research, but I do have a dishonorable mention. And for me, the dishonorable, I was thinking, like, to me, the opposite of crunch is just mushy softness. So I'm trying to think of how did somebody get tackled or, get taken down in the softest, mushiest way. And I'm going to have to go with
Humble?
Yes.
No.
Mark Sanchez runs into his own center's ass and then just kind of falls over. And
well, years ago we talked to Tom Moore, then at Indianapolis, the offensive coordinator. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose and it's alive.
I have never seen this before in my life. Watch this. Vince Wilfork is going to throw Brandon Moore back into his quarterback. He's going to fumble the football. This is what Reggie White used to do to people, forklift them and just lift them off the ground. Mark Sanchez not expecting it, and it was the backside of Brandon Moore that knocked the ball out.
Yeah, that's a good
I heard
one.
soft
That is
pushing.
soft.
I thought butt fumble. I don't know.
yeah, so, I mean, it's just such a randy-ass move to be considered a professional athlete. And you're just like, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I could just see what teammates said to him after that. Like,
It's probably
Especially Brandon Moore, whose ass is the famous ass that caused the fumble.
I mean, yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah, that was a disappointing thing to watch as a Jets fan with Dirty Sanchez.
That was good. My dishonorable mention is just anytime a QB throws an interception and they just whiff on the tackle.
Any Tom Brady tackle, is it?
Yeah, or just don't try. Like it's a little shove or something. But my honorable
dive at
mention,
the feet intentionally to miss them.
yeah, the honorable mention is like kind of the opposite of that, where the punter makes a crazy explosive tackle and then next week is like immediately randomly tested for PEDs. Happens like once a season.
Yeah, they got Pat McAfee on that one too.
Yeah. Well, who was the other one who it happened to?
I don't remember.
I definitely saw it. But I remember.
It happened like 2 or 3 years ago. Hunter jacked someone up, and then immediately after, they're like, "Oh man, we got to test that guy for drugs."
Yeah.
There's no goddamn way a kicker's gonna make a hit like that. Something's going on here.
Yeah. But yeah, so fun list. That was a good one.
It was.
Casey, you don't have access to the sickest stashes, do you?
I don't think I do.
All right, I'm gonna share it with you real quick so you can.
While you're sharing that, I'm gonna get some coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm calling. I'm gonna get.
It's already shared.
If it's a peeps break, I guess.
We're doing it. You want to know what's fucking horrible, Jake? Doing Huffy's ridiculous way of counting calf raises.
Oh no, that was rough.
I mean, I like working out calves.
That's what made me say Jesus, and the old guy get offended.
Jesus is Lord, or Jesus is Christ, or whatever he said.
Jesus is the Christ.
King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Casey, open up the sickest stash Google Doc.
Oh,
So should the transition picture be Ron Jeremy?
Yeah.
What?
Because it has to
Oh
be.
my! I don't like how it starts off. It starts off good.
Yeah, I threw the hedgehog in there to pay homage to his stash.
It's so wispy.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would classify that as a crust.
Speaking of the hedgehog, dude, I think he's doing a hard time, dude. Did you see that?
For sexual assault.
Oh yeah, many counts of sexual assault. But he's a porn star, dude.
When you got an 11-inch donger, people are going to take that as assault sometimes.
Yeah.
Not to make light of anybody.
That thing is a assault with a blunt object.
I don't know if I should be worried.
What did you say, Jake?
I got this trail mix yesterday, and that has a hole in the bag right there. And I don't know if I should be worried.
You should definitely be worried.
Mice are getting to it.
I've already eaten top half, though.
If I was a terrorist, that's where I'd put the anthrax right through that hole right there.
in the middle of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's break down the people who qualified for the Sickest Stash bracket. We're just going to run through them real quick. If anything jumps out at you, if there's anything you want to talk about or comment, just feel free to jump in and say some fun stuff. So, Sickest Stash, some parameters I set. Didn't want it to be goatee. So if it like connects here, it was a no-go. But if there was a full beard and clear, prominent mustache over the beard, that was countable. But other than that, it's just who's got the sickest stash. Many different kinds, many different variations of sickness. First one we got on the list is from the Bears, Artie Burns. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm going to say kind of weak stash, dude.
Weak stash, but we'll save that for the voting. AJ Green. If you see a different angle of this one, I like it because of how thin and finely manicured it is.
Yeah.
Like, look at how tight and cropped that thing. He's almost got like a little Hitler thing going on from the side view.
It kind of is like a throwback vintage stash. Like, it kind of makes him look like he's playing in the 80s.
Yeah, it looks like a small caterpillar is right above his lip.
Yeah, I like it, dude.
Okay. Sweet. On the Bills, Star Lutulele. So here's a guy who has a giant beard, lot of facial hair. But I would absolutely classify what he's going on that upper lip as a mustache.
This is just a hairy man in general. Like, what, his
eyebrows
hair
are
and his beard, like,
he's getting like the real handlebar mustache going on.
Yeah.
The
No, he's hairy. Star Lutulele probably wears a sweater to the beach.
even his eyebrows are hairy, dude.
Yeah, well, he's like Polynesian or something.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a decent stash.
Yeah. So you got Star Lutulele on the Bills.
Now,
Broncos.
Von Miller, I don't know if this is like a photoshopped picture.
That's a real pic.
But he looks kind of funny, dude.
Yeah.
But it's a good stash nonetheless.
It's so funny because he definitely just got like the fresh cut up top. And he's looking pretty slick.
This is probably the post-game interview after he had like 3 sacks or something.
Yeah, but that's a good stash. It's prominent. He's letting it go. I like
a better picture though.
And it has a lot of panache to it.
Yeah. What'd you say, Jake?
I said you could probably find a better picture of a stash for
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a pretty big stash on him. Usually
that one's funny though. So
it's a nice stash though.
Yeah, that's one part of the sickest stash bracket is how funny it looks also definitely plays in. Because the big thing about mustaches, especially in today's culture, is you kind of do it for the lulz.
Kind of a goose thing.
But on the Browns, Myles Garrett, he's got a pretty classic stash.
Yeah, that thing's clean.
Yeah.
It's clean, it's trimmed, it's nice. Looks like it fits on his face.
Pretty full.
Yeah.
It looks good with the mustache.
Casey, what do you think about Vita Vea's stash?
See, I like this one too. It looks like it's just a nice thick mustache. Like the qualities you want. It really fits the face. I feel like he's also somebody that's probably a slightly hairy man.
Yeah, these Pacific Islanders are bringing the heat.
Yeah.
Max Garcia from the Cardinals. That's a fierce stash.
Now, I haven't heard of this guy. Is he a Haas, I presume?
I think he's some sort of lineman. But he's got like some Cheech and Chong vibes going on.
This guy definitely likes to get silly on the weekends.
Yeah. So good stash, nice and thick. He's got a greasy stash, which is important. All right, so here's more of a clean one. Another fine pressed, well manicured. Desmond King from the Chargers.
Yeah, it's a good stash, man.
It's like
It's like a 5 o'clock shadow stash.
No, it's like a
just enough
90s
to classify as a stash.
That's not 5 o'clock shadow stash.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a stash.
like
It's no Chad Henne from the Chiefs stash.
Yeah, Chiefs. Chad Henne. This thing is ridiculous.
Now, what do you call this? A Fu Manchu?
I believe so, yeah.
I think this is a handlebar. I think Fu Manchu has to come off of the chin.
I think Jake's right on that.
Okay.
Delete the face.
So Chad Henne with the handlebar in the mustards. Looking good.
In the Honey Dijon.
Now, if I'm him, I crank that hat backwards. Gives you a little bit extra flair.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the Colts, Quentin Nelson stroking some flow, but also has like a baby handlebar going on.
Now, it has to feel good to know that you're on 2 brackets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nasties and the Sickest stash.
I mean, some of these guys were on the sweetest Seps, too. Like Miles. Oh, no, Miles Garrett didn't make it.
Yeah, perennial sleeve guy.
Yeah.
He would have.
But, yeah, when you're getting pancaked by a Haas with a handlebar mustache, it's just – there's just something about it where you know he's the better man.
You're just like, oh, fuck. This guy could be my dad.
Hosses and handlebar mustaches go together so well.
Yeah.
Like they just fit.
And like barbed wire tattoos on your bicep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And tribal tattoos.
Yeah, if you're Polynesian.
But or if you're not.
Yeah.
But on the Cowboys, we have Savion Smith. He's a little guy.
And this is one of the more interesting names that I've heard.
Yeah. Little tiny stash.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good one.
Nothing to write home to your
well groomed
about, but
okay.
Yeah. All right. Now we're getting to some big boys.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. We have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Jake, what do you think about that thing?
Now, see, I think with these ones, with these big beard guys, I might have to do some Photoshop work to take the beard out.
Yeah, or blur it out at least.
His beard is so epic, I could say, that it kind of brings the mustache along with him. Granted, that mustache is a very full mustache, and it kind of looks like it kind of has one of these things.
It does.
Going on.
Now, Jake, have you seen the picture where they Photoshop Ryan Fitzpatrick's beard on his hair and his hair where his beard should be?
No.
You should look that up because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Look up Ryan Fitzpatrick beard swap, and I think you'd find it.
But speaking of Ryan Fitzpatrick, his good friend Deshaun Jackson on the Eagles.
Yeah. So Deshaun Jackson was a tough one because there's a lot of pictures where it looks like it connects in a goatee fashion.
Yeah.
But I think he squeaked by because on the left side of his face, it's just like a little patchier than the right side, and I don't think it connects.
So we'll throw him on there if there's no other Eagles guys.
Yeah. Is Malik Jackson on the Eagles?
Malik Jackson? I don't know.
Malik Jackson has a pretty sweet stash.
Yeah.
Ooh, do we not have a D Ford?
About that patchiness, though. Like, you can't be growing a beard and
What
then just
about
have the big blank spot down the middle.
Do you want to switch Deshaun Jackson with Malik Jackson?
Is it better?
I think it might be. Let me pop a pick in and we can see what you guys think. Pop a pick real quick.
It's a good one.
What do you think? What do you think about that? It's like a Cleveland Brown mustache he has.
I think that's a better mustache. I'm going to be honest with you.
Let's go with it.
Wow. Sorry, Deshaun. No anti-Semites on this list.
Yeah, it's a very full mustache.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm glad he popped into my head. We don't have a picture for him, but I promise Dante Fowler Jr. has a nice little skinny stash going on. I wish Julio Jones had a stash or something. 49ers, we got D Ford. You just have to scroll down because it's a large picture.
Now, I like how he cut the top half of the stash off, but didn't really go like as neat as AJ Green did.
Yeah. Also, what I like is D Ford has some sort of scar on his mustache. I think that's cool. It adds like some grizzle to him.
That is cool. I wonder how he acquired that.
I don't know, but he did.
Moving on to the Giants' Leonard Williams.
Yeah, and this is
borderline.
Yeah, this is a close one.
Kind of goatee territory here, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, who else are you going to put up there?
I don't know.
Danny Dimes? No stash.
Yeah.
Baby.
All these babies with no stashes. But yeah, Leonard Williams. I'm not a huge fan myself, but what are you going to do? Casey, does it hurt you seeing Leonard Williams in a Giants uniform?
Yeah. Just going to the same exact team the same city.
Yeah. Same stadium.
Probably kept the same house.
Probably
did. But you want to talk about heavy hitters, fellas. The Jaguars. The man who started a movement by himself last year with his mustache. Gardner Minshew. Minshew Mania. Mustache Mania down in Duval County.
Yeah.
Duval?
Look at that sucker.
And I think without that mustache, maybe he doesn't get all the hype that he's garnered.
I think his personality has to play into it too. Like he's a very eccentric kind of person. Like really.
I think he's just a fun dude.
And he has an interesting name. But yeah, very sweet stash.
Was going to be Beowulf. But yeah, I think he's going to be tough to beat in the polls for sure. Joe Flacco just has like a kind of a dirty, like I feel like I could see that guy at like a truck stop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he drinks Monster a lot.
Yeah.
He looks like as he's throwing this ball, he's going, here.
Drinks Monster, eats like egg sandwiches from the truck stop, and he's just looking for some lot lizards.
Oh, lot lizard. First-hand experience with lot lizards.
You have experience with lot lizards?
No.
At the Beacon.
Oh.
I had conversations with lot lizards.
I thought you were about to share a story with us.
It's not as fun as he thought it would be.
I think Casey's trying to divulge to us that he had sex with a prostitute.
Casey, it's all right to say on here if you want. We're on YouTube.
Or if that's not the case, you might want to say that's not the case.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave it to the mystery of the fans. Has Casey slept with a prostitute and paid for it to have sex? The world may never know.
That is quite the mystery.
Well, what the world does know is that the Lions have Danny Amendola. And his stash is sweet.
Yeah, it's thick. It's a thick stash. It's good. Classic stash. Aaron Rodgers, another one who's going to be tough to beat. Especially, this is a great picture. Look at that thing.
This looks like a fake stash. It looks like he's putting a disguise on.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding up like a brush that like brushes off a chalkboard or something.
It looks like a Mario stash.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it does.
When Aaron Rodgers grows the stash, he just gets so much jollier for some reason. Have you noticed?
It's like Chris Kringle growing his beard out.
Yeah.
Just a dad really enjoying the facial hair. That's what it reminds me of.
But no, I definitely think the more cartoonish the beard gets, the better, for sure. And Aaron Rodgers falls into that category. Panthers, Robbie Anderson, he's got a little one.
Little pencil stash.
Yeah.
We really had to try for some of these teams. Some team that we didn't have to try for those, the Patriots. I don't know if you guys know linebacker Cash Malulia, but he's got
we like to call him Cash Moolah.
Yeah, Cash Moolah. He's got a pretty sick stash. It's long and thin. I like it.
He just looks like a silly guy, dude.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't know how he got in that situation. I do like the earrings and the flow, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Cash Moolah has a good season.
Yeah. Belichick saw something in him, dude.
The Raiders, I didn't even know Jason Witten was still playing football. But
Still playing.
that mustache on Jason Witten, it's goatee territory, but it's pretty mustachy too.
Yeah.
So, Jason
You
Witten
can really see his age on his head there, on his scalp.
Yeah.
You see the
head.
So John Johnson from the Rams, he's got a nice one of those little, looks like he took 2 Sharpie streaks across.
Yeah, but his is like hyper crisp. Like he has
Very
a crisp stash.
He's well maintained.
The name John Johnson is also pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like
JJ.
your last name is Johnson, your mom's just like, well, what if we go John?
What if his dad's name is John and he's actually the son of John, John's son?
That'd be nuts.
Yeah. And he was John Johnson Jr.
Well, I think if he was actually John's son, there would be 2 S's in his last name.
Yeah, maybe.
But either way, on the Ravens, our good old buddy, old pal, DJ Fluker's back.
Yeah. We find a way to sneak him on the list week after week.
Which is tough. DJ Fluker's a big dude. I don't know how we're sneaking him anywhere.
Next bracket, we're going to do most people, or people who look most like DJ Fluker.
Yeah.
Whoa, DJ Fluker looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, not only is he a big nasty, not only does he get beat up by his girlfriend, but he has a cool mustache.
Yeah. And if it weren't for that stash sopping up some of that blood, the police may have had no evidence. So
yeah, true. 6 stashes, saving days. But on the Wahington Football Team, we have.
let me change this right here.
Yeah, thank you. We can't have that verbiage on there. Football team. We have Kendall Fuller, who it's just thick. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a good stash.
This is another borderline goatee, but
it's Kendall
I think
Fuller
with the beard, it brings it all together.
has a full stash.
yeah. All right. Cam Jordan. Saints.
Yeah, you wanna talk whimsical. Cam Jordan has a fun stash. It's like
This is-
really cute.
This is kind of a scary picture, dude.
That's like a crazy eye. He's like,
He looks like he just killed 3 people and ate them. Like,
See, Austin, I would say he just killed people with like a musketeer-esque sword from like
yeah.
1600s or whatever.
no,
The 3 musketeers with this mustache.
Yeah.
He's definitely got some major D'Artagnan vibes.
So this one, for whatever reason, it's a little offsetting to me, but it is definitely one of the top stashes.
You think the Cam Jordan stash is offsetting?
A little bit. I think it's more of his look in his eyes. Like,
Yeah, he does have the crazy eyes going on.
so take your finger and then cover up his left eye, our right.
yeah.
Pretty normal. Now cover up the other one.
Ah.
Imagining both eyes like that, he definitely just did some maniacal shit.
Can we Photoshop an eye patch on him or something?
Oh, I could do that. That's easy enough.
No, copy like his other eye and like make it so both eyes are just wide.
Might have
Crazy.
to mirror it. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
All right, guys, we got to rapid fire this list because I got some green apple splatters on the way.
All right, let's get it through, dude.
But Seahawks, you got KJ Wright. I think, was he in, Jake, was he in your hit list?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
KJ Wright's got a good mustache, though.
Yeah, good stash on KJ. Steelers had to add Paxton Lynch because when he was drafted, he looked like a supervillain, and that was pretty cool.
Looked like a real maestro.
Yeah. so Will Fuller. Austin, you found like a crazy good picture of his mustache.
I did some digging on this one.
That thing is like,
it's luscious.
That could be a Larry Ogunjobi dark horse candidate.
Yeah. I like how he shaved his beard to be less prominent to really show off the staff.
Oh yeah, he knows what he was doing. Titans, Taylor Lewan, he's trying to get whimsical like Cam Jordan, but I don't know that he pulls it off as well.
Yeah, he hadn't letting those sides grown out enough
Yeah,
yet.
so he's got some work to do. And then last but not least on the Vikings, looks like he's uncomfortable for some reason.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Adam
snowing.
Well, his lip's not cold with that mustache.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, so
Not saying that we're going by this strict of a rule, but I did look up the World Beard Championships rules on the mustache competitions. It says the mustache is slender, long, and drawn out in a slight bow. The mustache may not include hairs growing from more than 1.5 centimeters past the corners of the mouth. Styling aids permitted. All areas more than 2 centimeters past the corner of the mouth must be clean shaven, as must all areas under the chin. So obviously they're trying to regulate it more because, it's the World Beard Championships.
Yeah.
But just to give you guys kind of a look on what the pros count as a good mustache.
I don't know that any of these guys would qualify for that.
I don't know 1.5 centimeters. So
I'm just saying the no facial hair like under the lips.
Yeah, so that's just avoiding all beards and anything else.
Aaron Rodgers would qualify.
I don't think he would. He's got the stubble under there.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's cleaner pictures. This one, he obviously hadn't shaved in a day or two.
That's just a great picture. But either way, those are the lucky people who were selected to be on the Sickest Stash bracket. Casey, thanks for coming along on episode 14, the Justin Blackman episode.
Thanks for having me. It was a good time.
Yeah. As I tell every guest when we get through our guest rotation, if you would like to come back on, you are more than welcome.
No, I'd be glad. Glad to come back on, had some more content.
Yeah, no, you are a great content adder. But other than that, I think that's it. What do you guys think?
Oh, I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these beard competitions. I'll never be able to do it because I can't grow facial hair for shit, but they're in it.
Try my best. But next week, stay tuned for another Hot 32, another fun game of the week, another whoopsie of the week, the first round of the Sickest Stashes. Follow us on the gram at Bro Football Focus. Follow us on the Twitters at Bro Football Focus with 1L. And follow us on YouTube. And if you're here, you already know how. So like, comment, and subscribe.
But before we go, looks like this competition in Austin, Texas, the categories are Sweetest Stash, Gnarliest Beard, and Most Pompous Partial are just 3 of 8 different categories.
What's a partial?
I don't know. I'm not a beard guy.
Sounds like a Hitler stash almost.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
go release the Kraken, Hunter.
Hunter's going to go.
I'm taking y'all with me.
Oh, wow.
Cut the recording. Cut it.